Hey guys, good evening and welcome once again to our SOAIR cybersecurity guide. Today is week 2 and we are on section 4. And for this week, we'll be dealing with reconnaissance and scanning basics, active and passive reconnaissance. We'll be using tools like Nmap for network scanning. Then we'll be using the harvesters for gathering data. Then we'll have our assignments, which is to perform a basic scan on a local network. What is reconnaissance and scanning? Reconnaissance and scanning are the initial phases of a cybersecurity engagement, whether for ethical hacking, which is also penetration testing, or for malicious activities. These steps are aimed to gather information about a target, to identify vulnerabilities, and to plan subsequent actions. Reconnaissance and scanning are important in cybersecurity, providing a foundation for identifying vulnerabilities and strengthening defenses. Understanding these basics equips security professionals with the tools and techniques to protect systems and network efficiently. Tools for reconnaissance and scanning. We have the UIS, which is used for domain information. We have Nmap, which is for network scanning and port scanning. We have Wireshark for packet analysis. We have Montigo for graph-based data mining and passive reconnaissance. And we have Shodan, which is used for internet-wide scanning for devices and vulnerabilities. Active and passive reconnaissance. Active and passive reconnaissance are techniques used in information gathering during the reconnaissance phase of cybersecurity or penetration testing. These methods help attackers or security professionals gather information about a target, system, network, or an organization. What then is active reconnaissance? This involves directly interacting with the target system or network to gather information. This is typically generating traffic and may leave traces in the system's log, making it very easy to detect. What are the tools used in active reconnaissance? We have the port scanning, which is used to identify open port and services using tools like Nmap or MassScan. We have the network mapping, which involves using tools like NetCat or traceroute to understand the network structure. We have the service enumerator, which is used to query specific services, e.g. the SMTP, the FTP, to identify versions and configurations. We have the vulnerability scanning, which involves using tools like Nexus, OpenVAS, or Qualys to identify vulnerabilities in the target. Then we have social engineering, which is used to direct communication with personnel, which involves direct communication with personnel, either through phishing emails or phone calls or person-to-person interaction. All of these are the various techniques and tools used in active reconnaissance. Then what is passive reconnaissance? This reconnaissance involves gathering information about the target without directly interacting with its system. This method relies on publicly available information, making it easier to detect. What are the tools and techniques used? We have firstly the OSINT, which is the open source intelligence, which involves using search engine, public records, and social media to gather information. We have the UIS lookup, which is used for retrieving domain registration details. We have the DNS enumerator, which is used to gather domain and subdomain information using tools like the DNS dumpster or Fierce. We have website analysis, which involves extracting metadata, robots.txt, and other public data using tools like the Wapalizer. We have the public records and breach data, which is used for searching through data leaks or repositories for useful information. Comparison of active and passive reconnaissance. In the aspect of interaction, for active reconnaissance, it is direct, while for passive, it is indirect. In the aspect of detection risk, it is high for the active reconnaissance and low for the passive reconnaissance. In the aspect of information depth, the information on active reconnaissance is detailed, while information in the passive reconnaissance are limited. The aspect of tools, the tools used in active reconnaissance are Nmap, Nexus, Metasploit, while the tools used in passive reconnaissance are OSINT tools, Whois, and Google Docking. In the aspect of example, we have the scanning ports and exploiting services for the active reconnaissance. Then we have the revealing social media DNS lookups for the passive reconnaissance. What then is Nmap? Nmap, which is widely known as the network mapper, is a powerful open source tool used for network discovery, management, and security auditing. It helps identifying devices on the network, their services, and other or any potential vulnerabilities. Nmap is widely used by network administrators and penetration testers for active reconnaissance. We have the cases where Nmap is used in networking. Firstly, we have the network inventory, which is identifying devices with their configuration on a network, and it's useful for network management and documentation. Number 2, we have the security assessment, which is used to detect open ports and services that might expose vulnerability and test firewall rules and intrusion/prevention system. We have number 3, troubleshooting. Verifies if services are running and are accessible and identifies bottleneck or misconfiguration in the network. What are the key features in Nmap used in networking? We have the host discovery, which is used to identify active devices on the network and determine if hosts are up and reachable. Number 2, we have the port scanning, used to identify open, closed, or filtered ports on a target system and determines the services running on specific ports. Number 3, we have the service version detection, used to detect version of application or services running on a host and help assess potential vulnerabilities associated with outdated software. We have the operating system detection, which uses fingerprint techniques to identify the operating system of the target and provide additional details like uptime and device type. We have network mapping, which maps the structure of a network to understand the topology and identifies intermediary devices like router, switches, and firewalls. We have the NC, which is also called the scripting engine, which executes custom or pre-built scripts to perform specific tasks like vulnerability scanning, brute force attacks, and information gathering. What then is the Harvester? The Harvester is a powerful open source tool used for passive reconnaissance during cybersecurity assessment. It focuses on gathering public available information, OSINT, about domain, email addresses, IP addresses, and other relevant details from various online sources. What then is its purpose in networking? It is used to collect information about a target organization without interacting directly with its system. It is also used to identify external facing assets like email accounts, subdomains, IP ranges, and employee information. Then, it is also used in reconnaissance phase of penetration testing or red team engagement. What are the key features of the Harvesters? Number 1 is the email enumerator. It gathers email addresses associated with the target domain, and it's useful for phishing campaigns or social engineering. Number 2, we have the subdomain enumerator, which identifies subdomain linked to the target domain and also helps map the organization's external facing infrastructure. Number 4, we have the IP information, which is used to retrieve IP ranges and hosts associated with the domain and assist in network scanning and vulnerability assessment. Next, we have the metadata extraction, which is used to extract information from public documents related to the target domain. Then we have the integration with other tools, which is used or can export data to use with tools like Nmap or vulnerability scanning. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of today's class. And what is our assignment and project is to perform a basic scan on a local network. Please enjoy the rest of your day.